Okay, let's just wait for some few minutes before. Okay, let's just wait for some few minutes before. Okay, let's just wait for some few minutes before. Okay, let's just wait for some few minutes before. Okay, let's just wait for some few minutes before. Okay, let's just wait for some few minutes. Let's just wait for some few minutes before. Okay, let's just wait for some few minutes. Let's just wait for some few minutes before.
video, I'm going to show you how anyone can quickly just like
Can you hear Mr. President?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
All right. I can see thank you very much for joining us, Mama. Just 12 p.m. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us on this platform. This is virtual entrepreneurship and economic summit 2020. Can you hear me? Also, if you can hear me.
We can hear you, but it's a bit, it's not quite smooth.
Okay. Okay. All right.
It's a bit distorted from my end. Your voice is distorted.
My voice is distorted.
Yes, Mr. Moderator, your voice is so distorted.
Wow. Is it clear now?
It's not clear.
Okay. You know. Okay.
It's still distorted.
Let me just join again. I will join this meeting again. Okay. Can you hear me very well now, Mr. President?
Yeah, I think it's better now.
Okay. Okay. I just want to be sure that my people can hear me very well. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us on this platform on virtual entrepreneurship and summit. Wherever you're joining us from, either from this Zoom platform or you're joining us on Facebook or YouTube or website. Thank you very much for joining us. You could just share via the hashtag IFUMSA VES hashtag IFUMSA VES. Thank you very much. So today, the theme for the conference is entrepreneurship with finances to sustainable economic development. And yesterday we had a panel session, and we had a good time yesterday. We had a lot of questions from the panelists, and we were able to learn one or few things from them. So, and today we have four speakers that will be speaking to us on different areas from different topics. And we have Mr. Toyin Sani, we have Mr. Oluseyi Akinyoye, we have Mr. Pakwinzi, and we have Mrs. Omoka. So today, will be fully packed. So let me just check if we have enough participants already. Okay. On this Zoom, okay.
Mr. Moderator, can I still try to get a place with a good network?
You said what?
I think the net line is still breaking.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay, let me just invite Mr. President so I can just sort out my network. Mr. President, can give your opening remarks.
Oh, all right. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in today. This is the IFUMSA Entrepreneurship and Economic Summit. We're on the second day of the summit, and it's my pleasure to welcome each and every one of you to this summit. It promises to be impactful and power-packed. And then I want to also welcome our guest, Mrs. Toyin Sani, and then Engineer Pakwins, your brother is already with us. Another guest that we're expecting. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation to be here. We really appreciate you. Yesterday we had a panel discussion, and I'm very sure that we all had something to learn from that. And today we'll be continuing with a presentation and guest speech from all our guests that will be joining us today. And I just want to encourage us all to have something to, I'll have an expectation and have something to take home from the event. And then I want to welcome, I can see some of our alumni members in the house. Thank you so much for joining us. And then Heavy Medical students on board from Heavy Medical School in Nigeria, and also other students and some graduate students are also joining us. Thank you so much for being around. We really appreciate you. Wherever you're watching us from, be it on Zoom, Facebook, on the website, thank you for joining in. And then we wish you a very, very fruitful stay with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very Mr. President. Thank you very much. Can you hear me very well? Can you hear me very well?
Yes, I can, but there's still this sound underneath that is disturbing.
Oh my God. Okay, let me just go on. I will just allow the first speaker to come up. But then, okay, first I will be having Mrs. Twin. She's Group CEO, Margin African Capital, the President of Corporate and Individual Investment Advice, CIA. In 2017, Mrs. Twin was declared the All African Businessman of the Year at the CNBC and Forbes Africa AAB Area Awards and the Nigerian CEO of the Year by the Peers Award. And she's an investment banker and author with over 30 years experience. Prior to founding Imagine Africa, she was Group Chief Executive Officer at the United Capital PLC, fellow Secretary, fellow IAPM, member Chartered of Securities and Investment, UK, and President Association of Corporate and Individual Investment by Nigeria. She holds the first degree in law from the University of Ife, now Law University in Ife. A master's degree in law from the University of Lagos, and has attended the CEO program of Lagos Business School and executive programs of New York Institute of Finance, the Wharton School, and Harvard Business School. She's the founder of Women in Finance Nigeria and WIFN UK. She serves as the co-lead ambassador for the Africa CEO from Nigeria and on the board of the Working for Change and Transformation. So it's a privilege to have Ms. speaking to us and she's speaking on programs of entrepreneurship. So thank you very much, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to start by thanking and congratulating the leadership of IFUMSA for this amazing summit. I particularly find it instructive that it is medical students that are talking about entrepreneurship. It shows you that the future of professionalism is here already. The future of professionalism, I believe, will be in the meeting point between entrepreneurship and professionalism, because it is entrepreneurship that gives voice and provides a platform for for us to fully deploy the professional capabilities that we have. I honor and recognize the Vice Chancellor of the Obafemi Awolowo University, Professor Itayo Ogunbodede, and the leadership of IFUMSA, and my fellow speakers and panelists who are here. I welcome everybody as well as the participants. And I thank you for the opportunity to share my thoughts on this very interesting topic. For me, the coronavirus pandemic has reinforced for the entire world the importance of entrepreneurship, the importance of innovation, the criticality of having all the resources that are available to us brought together and brought to bear in a very deliberate way to solving the problems of the world. The vulnerability of Nigeria and Africa, and indeed even the leading countries of the Western world, have come to the fore as we all as a world together have battled and combated the coronavirus. And many times it appears that the virus is actually winning the battle, which should not be. On that note, again, I thank all the participants for being here, and I hope I can add value in about 20 minutes when I will take us through my thoughts on the pros and cons of entrepreneurship. I would like to share my slides, and I hope that I am able to do that. Please let me know if you see my presentation. I hope my slides are showing already.
Yes, yes,
Fantastic, fantastic. So I'll just put it on slideshow. So the pros and cons of being an entrepreneur. Lessons that I have learned personally as an industry expert, and it's an honor to present it at the IFUMSA Virtual Entrepreneurship and Economic Summit 2020. Why entrepreneurship? Why are we talking about entrepreneurship? Why is entrepreneurship relevant? Entrepreneurs are national assets to be actively cultivated, and I would add cherished. They bring great value to every society by creating wealth for themselves, for their shareholders, for suppliers and customers, and through the ecosystems that they build for the society at large. They create employment, they provide jobs. I can say from my experience at Emerging Africa, from 2 employees 2 years ago, we now employ 32 people who are full-time employees of our organization. Entrepreneurs drive innovation by providing the resources, the business motivation, and by implementing these innovations and thus promoting creativity. So competition, as entrepreneurs compete and drive to expand their businesses, they automatically create new products and they improve the old products. For me, coming back again to the medical field, to which most of our participants and speakers belong to, or well, at least the participants and the organizers of this summit, clearly the global pandemic has exposed for us the need for innovation and investment in medical care and how it is accessed by the public. Because when you have a situation in which people in their millions and tens of millions are afflicted, the number is well over 30 million now across the globe, are afflicted, we definitely need to look at innovative ways in which these people can be treated and can receive the quality of medical care that they require. So innovation in terms of access to medical care. So we're looking at medical technology. We're looking at also innovation to ensure that the meager resources that we have, and in Nigeria, for example, and I know you know the massive gap in doctor to patient ratio. So how can we leverage innovation technology to close that gap? And we can talk also about innovation in terms of right now there's a battle across the world, or there's a race across the world to find a vaccine and to find an effective treatment for the virus. So again, we're talking about also the pharmaceutical space, and then medical equipment space. So medical resources, medical equipment, medical technology, pharmaceuticals, those are some of the, and of course, access to medical personnel. Those are some of the areas where entrepreneurship will clearly make a difference. So entrepreneurs create wealth for themselves, for the supply shareholders, the suppliers, the customers, and through them and the ecosystems that they build for the society at large. They create jobs. I just explained that. They drive innovation. And innovation is critical to the world today like never before. And this is this is a summit organized by youths. And I believe that the innovation that we need, the creativity that we need to solve the problems of the world today is squarely in the hands of our young people, whom you all represent. Developing new markets. Entrepreneurs develop new markets, both in terms of geography, in terms of demography, and also in terms of generating demand where there was no demand before. Entrepreneurs improve living standards. They solve the problems of the world through improvements in existing products and creation of new products. And entrepreneurs grow the national income, and they contribute significantly to government tax and to government spending. And government spending in return, in the hands of the people, creates wealth again and keeps the wealth creation cycle going. So entrepreneurs drive national productivity and economic growth. So what can I say therefore? So when you say the major pro for entrepreneurship, therefore, is the impact that entrepreneurship has, the role that it plays in society at large. So that is the first and the major pro that we can discuss here. The nature of an entrepreneur. As an entrepreneur, you have to definitely engage these three characteristics, or these three challenges. The challenge of innovation. So entrepreneurship involves offering new products, applying a new technique, opening a new market, developing a new form of organization for the purpose of producing and enhancing existing products. So innovation, that is at the heart of entrepreneurship. Running a business, it will involve combining resources, putting all the factors of production together to produce goods and services and to set up businesses to make a profit. Risk-taking is at the heart of entrepreneurship. The outcome of the entrepreneurial venture can never be predicted with certainty. So you need to have a strong heart to be an entrepreneur. And in a little while, I'll share a bit from my personal experiences. So there will always be a certain degree of uncertainty in the, the outcome of your venture. So consequently, many of the steps you will take will be motivated by factors such as simply your gut instinct that you are onto a good thing, even when the world can't see it. Confidence in your product, confidence in yourself and in your team, and in your understanding of your market and of your business environment will be very critical to success in your business. What are the traits of an entrepreneur? Traits of an entrepreneur, and I'm going to discuss cutting across personality, human capital, active performance, and the environment. So as an entrepreneur, in terms of your personality, the key personality traits, entrepreneurs will typically have a desire to achieve something, a desire to make a difference, a desire to have an impact. That is common to all entrepreneurs. Otherwise, you will be comfortable, sitting in your comfort zone. And I'll tell you in a little while why I decided to leave one of the cushiest jobs anybody could have. And I remember in my former job traveling to a foreign country and deciding, because at that time my children were schooling in that country and I needed to go frequently, and we eventually had to acquire property. So I went into a bank to open an account, and then I filled the usual forms. And this was a country in the Western society. I filled the usual forms and they said, my remuneration and all that. And I filled those segments of the form. And the bank official essentially just was staring at me aghast. And I said, do you have a problem with this? He says this is the first time in his life. He's never seen anybody declare that level of income, coming through the doors of his bank and declare that level of income. And so the point I'm making is that I was definitely in my comfort zone. Life was good, both in terms of the annual income, because investment banking is that kind of sector, and also in terms of the annual bonuses, which are usually higher than your pay package. And then I woke up one day and said I was going to walked away from it all to go and become an entrepreneur who is not only no longer certain of where the next penny is going to come, but who also now has the burden of paying salaries to others. So as an entrepreneur, there must be something driving you, a need to make a difference or to accomplish something. Self-confidence is very critical. You must be sure that you can do this. Of course, there will always be the butterflies in your stomach and some degree of fear. But like my friend Aruma Ote likes to say, do it afraid, but please still do it. So an entrepreneur is innovative. You have a healthy risk appetite. If you are totally averse to risk, you have no business being an entrepreneur. Just stay in that salary job and collect your 30 days, make one pay. Openness, agreeableness, because you are going to need customers, you're going to need clients, you're going to need partners, and you're going to need to be able to, shake those hands and get their commitments and bring them over to your side. If you don't have those skills, you better have somebody very close to you in your organization who can, pump those hands and shake those hands and attend those social events. Even though nowadays there may be virtual events like this one. So leadership instinct is also important. Now, human capital, obviously your education and training and skills in the sphere of your entrepreneurship journey will be very important. Your experience, people want to see your track record. What have you done before and how successful were you in what you were doing? Your mental ability, your knowledge. And then the active performance of your goals is very critical. And of course, your environment. I'm going to skip because I want to spend a little more time talking about myself and my story, because I hope that will be important. So my journey as an entrepreneur. In my journey as an entrepreneur, the following qualities are what I think have helped me. So a sense of independence and a willingness to step out on my own. There's a safety that comes from I was in a very large group that had branches across, about over 20 branches across Africa, and also had representation in the United States of America, in the United Kingdom, in France, and one or two other places in the world. So there was a lot of comfort from introducing myself as representing such a brand and all that. Now, when I become an entrepreneur, you mention the name of your organization. I say, what, who, where, when, have you heard? So you must have that sense of independence and willingness to step out and strike out on your own. You must have high standards for yourself. Although one of the things that I think have destroyed new businesses have been the inability for the promoters to essentially make those new businesses also keep to the standards, the same kind of standards that more structured organizations adhere to. Self-confidence, determination and perseverance, creativity. I've had to be creative every step of the way. Discipline is so critical, goal orientation, acting quickly, and passion. One thing for us about goal orientation at Imagine Africa is that unlike most other businesses, our major goal, and we have told ourselves, our goal is that our client's goal must be achieved. So every day we work, live, talk, breathe, helping clients to achieve their goals. And in so doing, we fulfill our own goal. I'm going to the next slide. Still talking about my journey. One of the things that I think helped me is that I had been an intrapreneur for a long time before I became an entrepreneur. So I had started 6 different businesses for my former employers and taken those businesses, to the point of stability. So, and that was one of my driving considerations. I look, if you've done this 6 times before for others, why wouldn't you do it once for yourself? The difference in all those ones was that I had the backing, the brand, and also the funding of my sponsoring institution. Now, for the first time, I was going to go out and build a new brand and also find, sponsorship. So one of the things I did was that I very intentionally built my personal brand during my employment, my time of employment, because I knew that I was going to need, well, by the time I was stepping out, I would not have the comfort of the mother brand that I was relying on before, and people were going to need something they could connect with. So because I built my personal brand, at the time I started business, they didn't know my corporate brand, but they knew my personal brand. And then I now started the process of transferring my personal brand to my corporate brand. And I think today my corporate brand has that recognition, and it continues to grow and doesn't need anymore so much to leverage on my personal brand. And then what I had also done, which I will always recommend for any entrepreneur, is I had 7 years of brooding, as it were, a very small family business, which was the legacy business. So we had a small family private trust business. We were just taking decisions, investment decisions for very close friends and family, and helping them to grow their assets. So those assets had grown to a level. And so I had that legacy business as a foundation when I was going out officially. Faith, determination, and perseverance, you cannot replace those. Early voluntary retirement. So I took a decision to retire voluntarily. I had just had my 3-year contract renewed, and 6 months into that renewal, I gave notice that I would be leaving in another 6 months. So I did only 1 year out of the 3-year contract. It's always very important to leave while the ovation is lauded, leave while you are still being asked for more. Because one of the things that happens a lot, especially in my kind of industry, is that it's essentially a young industry, and it's an industry for young people. So at some point or the other, somebody's looking at you and say, look, I'm sure if we had a younger team, they could probably do more and all that. So you don't wait until that happens, because when that happens, you can be so demoralized that you cannot get up again. It's better to wait while everybody is still asking for more and more, because you go in the boost of that confidence. So leaving when the ovation is loudest is very, very good. Track record of value delivery and loyalty. It's very good when people know that you have always delivered value. I always tell people that your current job is your audition for your future job. Even if your future job, future position is to start your own business, what you're doing for your current employer, you are auditioning for the future, because when you go in future to go and ask people to come and support your dream, they're going to look into how you did when you were serving somebody else. I'm a pastor, and you find that model a lot in the Bible. Everybody, that was God's model. Everybody, and Elisha had served an Elijah and served him creditably before he became who he was, and that kind of thing. So team selection is critical. Who are those who are going on this journey with you in terms of technical capability, in terms of loyalty, and in terms of culture fit? Purpose, timing, and momentum is very important. I can't talk about it now, but please know when to move, and move. Don't, second guess yourself, because many times when you lose that momentum, it's very hard to come back. And culture is critical to entrepreneurship. And it's a big part of the success of our story, the culture that we're building within the system, a culture that is not hierarchical, a culture that is accommodative of young people. We find that at least 85% of our personnel are young people. They're millennials or possibly even younger. And so it's very, very important to have a culture that gives them a sense of belonging and makes them feel like they have a future here. I'll go to the next slide. So Emerging Africa, we had to clearly determine our purpose, our mission, and our belief system that drives us is that our clients' goals should be achieved. Every day we say this to ourselves, and we see it playing out, because in business, you're always making choices. And sometimes when you're in a dilemma, we just say, look, which choice will help my client's goal to be achieved? And I go for that choice. Our core values are excellence, ambition, collaboration, and growth. We decided, again, because we were a young organization going into an organization where there are a lot of giants that have made big names and big brands. So we decided that how would we sell ourselves? We'll make sure that in terms of regulation, and financial services, it's a business of trust. So in terms of regulation, we are practically over-regulated. We went for all classes of regulation that we could find so that people would have confidence that we are, we're regulated and they can trust us. And because of that, we've been able to grow group assets of about 18 billion in just over 2 years of actual operation as a group. And this is our group structure. We have 4 companies in the group, and we're growing. In fact, we have a 5th one now, which is the capacity building initiative. So from all these, what are the pros of being an entrepreneur? Your independence, your freedom to pursue your vision, as I have pursued mine, a long-term wealth creation potential. You can create wealth for yourself and for your stakeholders. You have a personal voice and visibility that can be subsumed when you're a part of a big structure. Many times you have something to say, but you can't say it because most organizations tell you, look, you can't say anything unless you are the CEO. You can't say anything unless you first get approval. So I have people, very senior people, that I work with sometimes who are still in some of these massive organizations. And I know they have something to say, but they're inhibited. Many times they come to me and say, sorry, I can't say this because, I can't say anything. So you have a voice and you can create your own visibility. Culture orientation and influence, you can influence the culture of the organization where you are, and it gives you comfort in knowing, rather than being in a place where you're not even sure you fit into the culture, you can create your own table and create your own culture and breed your own breed of people, your own tribe of people that think like you and act like you. And that's what I believe we're doing at Emerging Africa. Creative freedom is very important. And you can build an ecosystem, and then with that ecosystem, you can serially, have new businesses that feed off the same ecosystem and that are supported by the same ecosystem and support the same ecosystem. Of course, legacy is very important, recognition. Legacy in your society, a name that people will remember. The institution that you are building itself is a legacy, and of course, a legacy for your family. What are the cons? Obviously, you lose that huge employment income, like I said, all that your colleagues and friends have the cushion of that income. You don't have that cushion. You have to you branch out on your own without the cushion of that steady income. The risk of failure is there. 70 or more percent of all new ventures still fail. More, you may fail the first time, but you can go back again until you succeed. I faced resistance from my industry and market. Entrenched operators just didn't want, a new person, on the block, striving for them with the same mandate. So I faced a lot of resistance, and you should expect it. Initial funding and business generation challenges. People need time to trust you. So can we fund her business or his business? Can we give our mandates to them? The good news is that once you start winning, then you can keep winning and winning, because then you can show, oh, but I did this person, this institution trusted me, and I did this, So that's one of the things. So now we're raising capital for banks, because we can say to bank B and C, oh, Bank A gave us the mandate and we did it. We're raising capital for big power companies. You can say, oh, but your contemporary trusted us and we've done it for them. We're raising capital for governments, because we can say, oh, but governments 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trusted us. And so why wouldn't you trust us? So, and then the last one I have here is human capital deficit. One of the greatest challenges of every entrepreneur is finding good people, finding the right people, finding people you can trust. You find out that even people that ordinarily you would have thought you could trust, they will behave in a trustworthy, kind of like what people say about Nigerians. When Nigerians go abroad, they queue as they're supposed to queue, they do all the right things. But when we come back home, many times we push against the same disciplines. I found the same thing, that the same people that worked in big organizations, and they behave themselves automatically, probably because they knew that these organizations would really shake them if they misbehaved. They work for you as a startup, and they do all kinds of things that that you can't imagine. So human capital is a biggest challenge for me. On that note, I think I would like to stop and just make myself available for questions. Thank you once again for the opportunity. My own conclusion.
Thank you very much, Ma.
It's great to be an entrepreneur, and you should go for it. And there is opportunity even in your industry for entrepreneurship. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma. That was an awesome session. And I just have one question for you, Ma. Look, because most of the participants on this summit are most of our students, and we have just few alumni. But let's talk about startup founders, because most of us go broke after some time. How would we prevent that? And is it possible? Is it possible that we bootstrap for a very long time? And at what point do you think we could raise money as a startup and then as a student on the campus? Do you get that, Ma?
Yes, I get you. Thank you. So yes, one of the big challenges of every startup is raising funding and is finance generally. So it is very important as you grow up, even as a young person, that you cultivate your relationships. And it's not too late. You may be in final year, you may be, please cultivate your relationships. Be an obedient son or daughter to your parents. Be the nephew that calls the uncles regularly and visits them and goes, and knows the names of their children and all that. Because the day you start your business, your immediate base for your startup capital is going to be daddy, mommy, uncle, auntie, best friend, and all that. That is it. I mean, when I was going to start Emerging Africa, despite the years that I had spent in the industry, despite the fact that I've been working in an industry for almost 30 years, when I did my first preliminary information memorandum, which was like maybe 80 something pages, and sent it to the whole world and his brother, I raised zero. I'm not joking, zero. Then I sat down and I did a list of 20 people that I knew that were close to me and they trusted me and they would believe in me, and we had done stuff together somehow or the other. And I wrote personal letters to them, 2-page personal letters, and attached a few documents about what I had done before. And out of those 20, 11 people decided to invest in my business, and we raised over ₦1 billion. We raised well over ₦1 billion. And because I didn't want to go beyond $1 billion, I actually returned 300 million to people. I returned money to people. I don't know whether you get me. I had done this big document, yes, whatever, sent it out. Nobody responded. Then I did personal letters to people that, who knew me and whatever, and who knew I would not run away with their money, who knew that whatever, and everything changed. So you get the point I'm making. So build your personal relationships, build them now. Don't tell me, oh, that uncle is always snooty. He calls me Kamoru. He doesn't call me Dele. What's your business with that? You are both Dele and Kamoru. So please. But he calls all his own children by their Yoruba names. It's only me that he calls Kamoru. What's your business with that one? So please build up all your relationships, maintain them. Those relationships are what will help you. At the early stage, you don't have what the banks are looking for. You may also be able to get into, if you're lucky, you can get into a program like the Tony Elumelu Entrepreneurship Program, get into some of these incubator programs. That's a good way, to also take off. But we can chat more. If people put their questions in their Q&A, I can look at it and see if you put an email and see if I can send something. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, man. You talked about one thing you talked about was cultivating relationship, which is one of the key things that one of our panelists told us yesterday: cultivating fruitful and valuable relationships. And you also made mention of having constant relation with our family members, even though lately we all have some cultural we all have some cultural backgrounds in which most times we don't really get along with our family members. A lot of people don't really believe in us when starting the business, and sometimes our parents just believe oh, you're just wasting your time. I hope you understand. So now, the second question I have for you now: is there any relationship between mentorship, or how can mentorship be directed into entrepreneurship?
Okay, mentorship is critical, and I think I mentioned it in my presentation. And I said, watching and learning from others. And that's when I use the Elisha versus Elijah example. So if you're looking to thrive in a space, find somebody who is thriving or has thrived in that space, and patiently, politely develop a relationship with them and try and, get them. It's tough sometimes finding mentors, because most mentors want to know that they can trust you. And the worst thing you can do is, you contact people on LinkedIn or whatever, and within a day or two, you're asking them for money or for something or the other. No, build the relationship when you don't need anything from them. Engage with them as if you don't need anything from them. And they post something that is good, let them know that you think it's good, contribute to that intellectual discourse. At some point, you can then introduce yourself and say, look, you have learned so much from them. Will they agree to a structured mentorship for you? So mentorship is critical and it's very important.
Thank you very much. I hope our partners can hear that. There's always an approach to mentorship when it comes to entrepreneurship, any areas of your life. There's always an approach to mentorship. You don't just enter, connect with them abruptly or casually. Do you understand? And since I think you could also get mentorship through like from a distance. You don't need to get like a physical contact with them before you get mentored by someone. You understand? So thank you very much. I think we have one question now. Okay. Um. Okay. How do I assemble an effective team? I think you. How okay you okay you already answered that. Okay, I think that's all. Okay, thank you very much, Mark, for your time. I don't know if anybody has any other question before we close for this session with Mrs. Sunny. Okay. If not, okay. Thank you very much, Mark, for coming on this platform to talk to us. Thank you very much. We really appreciate you. I'm really honored to have you on this platform. Thank you very much, Mark.
You're welcome. And I must mention that OAU is my alma mater. So
yeah. I got that from your citation that you had the first class in law. Oh, wow, that was beautiful. Like, it's nice
Thank
meeting
you.
you. Thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Thank you
God
very much.
bless.
So now, Mrs. Tony Sun has just spoken to us about the pros and cons of entrepreneurship. And, like, he was trying to tell us his experience and like in his own industry. Now we'll be having the second side. I don't know if Mr. Olusheyi is available. Mr. Olusheyi Akinyoye. I hope I'm correct with that pronunciation of the Yoruba surname. All right. Wow, this is the league. This is the league doing influencer. Wow, it's nice meeting you. It's nice seeing your face. Thank you. Thank you very much for coming to this platform. So, Mrs. Smith, will be speaking to us on also on the pros and cons of entrepreneurship in his own view, as the case may be. You understand? So, his own experience in his own industry. So, I'll just read out the citation of Mr. Olushe before he started on stage. So, Mr. Akinyoye Olushe, friends call him Bishop. He's a careerpreneur, a graduate of Putney with a second-class upper credit from the Lagos State University, an executive MBA graduate from the Obafemi Awolowo University, majoring in marketing and finance, and a postgraduate diploma in supply chain and operations management from the University of Liverpool. Mr. Olusheyi has worked for Fortune 500 companies such as Nestle, IBM, and SAP across the Middle East and Africa in consulting, sales, marketing, operations, and business management. His experience is cut across the FMCG, telecoms, financial services, OOH, advertising, and information technology sector in senior management, body position. Career spans working for via Affinity in business development before moving on to work for Nestle in sales. He later joined Globalcom, where he did some assignments responsible for the general management of the location. IBM had wanted him to held sales operation for West Africa, and later expanded the coverage area to include Central Africa and the IOI countries, reporting into South Africa, Kenya, and UAE. Mr. Olusheyi also worked for SAP, the world's #1 enterprise software company, covering West Africa as the head director, line of business, and cloud, responsible for cloud solutions such as SuccessFactors. He was appointed to the board of GTL registrars as executive director, business development and IT, with responsibility for the business development, information technology, records management, and investor relations division. Mr. Olusheyi is currently the executive director and COO of Orange Africa, a technology company with responsibility for day-to-day running of the business and direct management of the finance, sales and marketing, project and solution delivery, human resources and client support. It doubles as the managing director and chief empowerment officer of 1224 Limited, people and business empowerment, putting in front of CEOs, directors, and C-level executives, making presentations and negotiating with clients, customers, and stakeholders almost on a regular basis. He's happily married to Folashade, and they have 2 awesome sons and the beautiful princess. Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Odusheyi Akinyoyin, over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Daniel. I really appreciate everything. It's nice to hear from Mrs. Toyin Sonny. I follow her very closely on LinkedIn. Omar Clark, it's nice seeing you. Uh, Nice seeing you here. Permit me to quickly share my screen. I have just a very few slides. I want to speak to everybody from my heart. Please let me know when you see my screen. Please let me just know. Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes, I can. Yes, we can see it, sir.
I have. I'll be a bit direct here, and I have a few questions to ask. First question: what makes champions so successful? From a simple analogy, the answer is simple: a mindset and a lifestyle that produces certain results. Mrs. Sonny spoke about friends, spoke about relationships, spoke about cultivating the right set of relationships. Those things take time. It is a conscious effort. You need to take a conscious effort, make a conscious effort to build those relationships. And when I say making a conscious effort, build relationships without thinking of what you can get in return. Take your time to build relationships above peers, subordinates, with people, with friends, with family members, without thinking of what you can get. When it is time for you to call back from this bank account, you have something waiting for you. I also like to make something interesting clear. Some of us are called to be entrepreneurs. The truth of the matter, I saw a report that clearly stated that it's not everybody that can function as entrepreneurs. However, everyone, everyone must be an investor. Um, Mrs. Sonny spoke about 11 people investing in the business. The interesting thing is these 11 people that she spoke about, they may not even own their own direct businesses, but have the funds to invest in those in her business. Be an investor. Take your time to invest in things. And it's not too early to start. I wish I had this opportunity 20 something years ago to do what we are doing now. Nobody sat us down to teach us about entrepreneurship. Some of us was just us following our passions and following our hearts. We made quite a lot of mistakes. We lost quite a lot of money. And what people see today is the seemingly success story. But there are lots of things that happened in between. Unfortunately, I believe a lot of us are not telling our failures enough. We talk about how we succeeded, the things we did to succeed, but we also need to start telling people what are the mistakes that we did? What are the things that when you look back, you're like, I wish I could have done this better. It will help a lot of people not to fall into the same pitfalls, the same mistakes that we've made. Now, let me share the pros and the cons that I see. So the first one for me, when it comes to pros, I decided to pick just 4 from each side. And when I say 4, it doesn't mean that there are not up to 40 pros or 40 cons that you can pick from. There are loads of it available. The first one for me is you are responsible for your own life. It's not one organization deciding how your life will be. When you decide to be an entrepreneur, you are taking your life into your own hands. You decide how you want it to go, how you want it to succeed, how you want to progress, how you want it to improve, and it helps a lot. The second thing, you get to learn something about everything. So as an entrepreneur, you get to learn about finance, you get to learn about HR, you get to learn about investment, you learn about technology, you learn about loads of things that if you were working in an organization with people, most likely, if you are not careful, you only know the area of the business where you sit. So for example, if you sit in HR or you sit in procurement, you may just be a procurement expert and that's it. But as an entrepreneur, it's even a bit more tricky when you start from ground zero. If you ask Mrs. Sonny when she said she had 2 people, the 3 of them will most likely be doing every single thing together. Now, people may be diversified into different areas. When you first start, you'll be the one doing the books. You'll be the one chasing the business as a salesperson or as a business development person. You'll be the one that is the HR of your team. You'll be the same person coordinating the meetings. You are the manager, you are the peer, you are the subordinate, you are the boss, all in one. And you learn a lot of those things all together. Then the opportunities to earn is limitless. This sounds good. I want to give an interesting story. There is one of the businesses that we set up last year. That business has not, I've not earned a dime from that business in 10 months. But it's a business that the people that we've employed, we've paid every single month. So we've been investing, we've been funding that business because we know the potentials there. I have not earned a dime from it. But when the income starts coming in, the part people will see is, oh, the millions are going into this part and that part. But there was a time that for months on end, the people who started that business were not earning anything. So those are things that happen as an entrepreneur. Opportunities to earn is limitless. And then the fourth one, you can work wherever, whenever, and however you like. This is one part I've seen a lot of young people like. They want to do this. Oh, I want to work from home. I want to be able to wake up and do things. The truth of the matter is work-life balance initially goes out of the window when you start as an entrepreneur, because you do a lot of work, you do everything, and you make sure that the business succeeds. Now let's look at the cons. You are responsible for many lives, and you're also responsible for other people's money. Other people's money. So somebody has invested ₦1 billion into your business, or 10 people or 5 people have invested $1 billion. Your job is to make sure, 1, you don't lose the money. 2, that money replicates and brings in other income, other monies. That money it was given to you based on trust. In the last 2 weeks, one of the things that has dawned on me is what I am really selling, and what a lot of us are really selling is our integrity and our trust. That is what we are really selling, because that's what a lot of people bought into for them to invest in our business. It's not just the expertise, it's not just the competence. They've heard your name, they've seen your past results over the years, but they invested because they trusted you enough that you will not mishandle their money or take them for granted and make their money go away. And the second thing, this one is the best part for me. Overnight success takes years. Overnight success takes years. When I set out, I first started as an entrepreneur. I was working for an organization and helping to set up other businesses. Then I also started doing my own businesses and what they call side hustle. And from that side hustle, then I grew and then made sure it became something big. And then I decided it was time to step out. But in stepping out, of course, I met a few challenges. One of my former bosses, when I was finally stepping out of the business, told me he doesn't mind almost doubling my income for me to stay. So which was a good temptation in terms of financials. And it was me putting my dream on hold at the expense of more money at that time. So, but I had taken my time to pray. I think it was about 8 months that I spent in terms of prayer, in terms of direction, in terms of planning, before I decided it was time to move. And then this one speaks about business failure may happen. The truth of the matter is this: sometimes failure happens. Sometimes failure happens. And it's a part of the package. But what I term failure is when you don't try again. I did a business there was a particular business I did in 2012. And because I didn't know about cost accounting, not just accounting, cost accounting, we lost significant money. Because of that, we now decided to do the business. When we decided to do the business a second time, I went to meet the people who should know. And we sat down together, did the planning, did the numbers, and it was easy for me to know on a case-by-case basis how much was coming into the business. The business can seem to be making money on the surface. If you don't know the details, the business will fail on the long term. The business may be bleeding and you will not know if you don't have the right set of people who understand the details, who understand the numbers, the facts behind the figures. Those are critical things for you to look at. And then, of course, financial instability for yourself and the business. I have a training business, and between March and June 2020, we did not do one business. Between March, when the COVID-19 thing started, and June, not one business happened. Simple reason, all the companies we were working with decided, of course, they started cutting budgets. And for those who know, the first place, one of the first sets of places you cut budget when it comes to day-to-day finance is training, procurement. Those are places you begin to cut off. A lot of them were like, we don't even know whether we are going to fire people or we are going to even be able to pay salaries. So why should I be training people that I may end up letting go? So that business suffered significantly for that period. However, from July to August, a lot of things have picked up. Now, imagine that was the only business I was doing. Imagine the kind of financial pressures that will happen, not just for me, but also for family and also for the people that work with me. So those are part of the cons that happen. Life happens as a business. As I speak to you, we have shut down our main office and everybody now works from home. Our normal office used to cost us about 4.5 million a year. Now everybody works from home. Internet is at home. We even have some of our staff that have a power bank that can work for about 8-9 hours in case there is no power in their houses. So, and this has helped a lot. Now, this is the part a lot of people like to see. When you succeed, there's time for you to do other things. You can decide to rest on the beach. You can decide to let other things happen. The second one is money. You make a lot of money, which you can then invest into smaller things that then grows and starts the cycle afresh. So, for example, I started a direct consumer business, and then the training business, and then the technology business. Other businesses started coming up like that. The third one is people. You grow people so that you can then begin to place people in different places. You have quite a number of people that can begin to function in different places. So I like to leave you with these two things. The first one, no matter the path you choose in life, make sure it's you choosing and not someone else choosing. Make sure it is you choosing and not someone else. That was by John Stewart, 2004. And then in everything that you do, you need to deliver smiles to your world. The essence of business is not just making money. Making money is an output. Part of the essence of business is to deliver a solution. And to do that, you are delivering smiles to your world. Finally, think big and start small. Thank you very much, everyone. I'm open to questions.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. That was an expository session. Thank you very much. You made mention of a lot of things that will be useful for many students. You talked about relationships. You talked about you also talked. I think one thing that struck me when you started was the fact that um, some entrepreneurship is a calling. Most people are actually calling it entrepreneurship. And we actually need to understand that. So now I think we have a question in the okay, the Q and A session. Okay. Okay, that was. I think you could be able to answer that. I think the person was talking about funding. That is it compulsory to give interest while seeking for funding, or probably when giving out funds for people to, I don't know. I think that's what the person meant. I don't know if you get that.
So when it comes to funding, there are different options available on the table. When I started with my own money. But when I started with my own money, what I did was to plan over a long period of time. That was what worked for me, for what I was doing. However, it also depends on the kind of business you are doing. If you are doing a 5 billion naira, a business that requires maybe 2 to 3 billion or 1 billion to start, and you don't have that money, you require funding. And a lot of the time, what will get you that funding is trust. So you could bring the funding in the form of debt. It could come in the form of equity. It could come in the form of people putting in funds because they know you. So one of my elder brothers put in some money into my business and zero interest rates, but it is what's the best word to use? It will not make sense to return the exact amount. He didn't ask for interest, but I did not return the exact amount when I was returning money to him. There was a thank you amount on top, if you get what I'm saying. So it's, for some people, you may get brothers, family members to bring in money. They may be doing it to support you. For some, they will tell you categorically. I once did a business where the lady told me it was 10% interest she wanted on that. I did my calculations and I saw that I could pay that 10% interest. And I collected that money and was able to pay back. Different scenarios, different situations, you decide the best approach to it that works for you. There is no one best picture, one best approach to doing things.
All right, thank you very much, sir. I hope that question has been answered. But I don't know whoever. So thank you very much, Mr. Oluchi. That was the practical session, and we made mention of a lot of things, and we are really grateful for your time, for finding the time to speak to us. And so thank you very much on behalf of the leadership of IFUMSA. I'm saying a very big thank you. So thank you very much. So now to the next section. Thank you. So now to the next session, we'll be having Mr. Parkwins, Mr. Engineer Parkwins, Java. Apologies. Please, Engineer Parkwins, please can you hear me? You could unmute the mic and you could open your video. Engineer Parkwins.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, how are you doing?
Oh, yes, it's nice in your face, sir. I'm very fine, sir. I'm very fine, sir. Thank you very much, sir. It's nice in your face, sir. So once again, I'm Daniel. I am Daniel Olubumi. I'm a student on the campus of Bafemi University. I'm a final year student, physiotherapy student. So it's nice having you on this platform, sir.
Yeah, just a quick one. I'm wondering, you are just having these lectures back to back. I'm wondering if you are not going to take a break. Did you get me? Hello?
Oh, we're not taking a break. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, I got that. We're not taking a break. I think we are having you right now. Can you hear me,
Okay.
sir?
There's no problem about that. I just believe that we are talking to human beings. It's not just trying to do everything at once to them. They should take
Hello,
it.
sir.
Hello, can you hear me,
Can
Daniel?
you hear me, sir?
I can hear you loud and clear. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I think the voice is lagging.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
Just a minute.
So we just have your session now. Okay.
Let me join
So
through
before,
so that I can share my slide.
okay, but before I start, I actually want to read your citation. I want to read. Okay. I was just informed for us to go on a 5 minute break. 5 minute break. We'll go on a 5 minute break.
It makes sense. So Daniel, you can also give me the permission to share my slide. You can also give me the permission to share my slide.
Um, I I think the host will be in charge of that, Mr. Temitope Matthew.
So I think you can, sir, because I can share from here. So
Okay, good.
can you do that now, sir?
Okay, we can see your screen now. We can see your screen. So I will just read your citation. I will read your citation before you start, sir, so people could get acquainted with you very well. So, Engineer Fakun Zirabo is a distinguished development banker with over 15 years post-graduation experience. He's currently the State Manager Bank of Industry, Oyo State Office, and is also the president and founder of NAME Foundation and the chairman of the Entrepreneurship Center. Engineer Parkin Zirabo holds a Bachelor of Engineering degree in Mechanical Engineering from Ambrose Adley University and a Master in Information Technology degree from the University of Lagos. He also has Queen's University. He also has Queen's University Canada certification as a trainer on investment appraiser and project analysis. He is a current registered Mechanical Engineer, Institute of Appraisers and Cost Engineers (IACE), accredited Cost Engineer (ACOSE), and accredited Engineer Valuer (AINVAL). So he is a certified management consultant, a fellow of Nigerian Institute of Management Consultants, an ISO 9001-2015 QMS lead author, a member of the Nigerian Society of Engineers (NSE), a member of the Institute of Appraisers and Cost Engineers (ISE), and the status coordinator of the institute, a member of the Nigerian Institute of Mechanical Engineers and the Nigerian Institute of Management. He is also a microfinance certified member of the Chartered Institute of Bankers (MCIE). He holds the prestigious Nelson Mandela Leadership Award as African Most Outstanding Person on Administration and Societal Development par excellence from African Youth Parliament. Engineer Pankwe is vast in corporate finance, strategy formulation, business and business model development, value chain development, and financing. He is the creator of the Lovepreneurship Message and the founder of Lovepreneurship Movement. So before engineer parking, that will go for a 5 minute break. So after 5 minutes, we'll come up again and the engineer parking will just take over. So 5 minutes break start now. So by 1:15 we'll come back and engineer parking will start the session. Thank you very much. thank you very much. That's the end of the 5 minutes. Brady is 1:15 already, and um, Engineer Parkins will be speaking to us about securing funds as a young entrepreneur, and the prospects and challenges. So thank you very much, sir. Engineer Parkins, over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, sir. We can hear you, sir.
Okay, it's a pleasure to be here. My name is Parkwin Sirabo, and I believe my recitation has already been. Okay, I work for the Bank of Industry. I'm the state manager of Bank of Industry, Oyo State. It gives me great pleasure to be in your midst. I want to appreciate the Vice Chancellor and the leadership of IFUMSA for giving me the privilege to speak to great minds today. I think my work has been very, very simplified by the first two speakers. They have virtually touched on every point that I wanted to emphasize at this webinar. So I will just say a few things and we will take it from there. So the first thing I want to say, I've come to a point in my life where I don't celebrate talking anymore. So I get bored with summits, seminars. Our people seem to always be learning and not doing, whereas the wisdom comes from doing, not by gathering so much information. So what I will first want to offer is that I will want to personally work with as many aspiring entrepreneurs we may have from your association in their journey through entrepreneurship and business development. So I'm offering to work with as many entrepreneurs from this association that want to see me as a mentor, want to see me as somebody that they could listen to in this journey. So the first thing I would want to say is that for such people, please can you go to a special YouTube channel I've created for this purpose. It's called Lovepreneurship TV. And I have created a very, the first session of my presentation, I've actually created an intro on that YouTube. So I want members of this association to go to that YouTube and like that video, subscribe, and that will give me the momentum to know if we can go on this journey. Because there is no need actually pouring out things for people you don't know that they're actually following. The webinar does not give me the opportunity to interact the way a physical meeting will be. So I believe the entrepreneurship work is a journey. It's not going to start today and end today. So you will need guidance, you will need information from time to time. I'm willing to do that for you. You can ask questions on that YouTube channel, and I will personally do a recording because you have asked a question. So in that way, we continue to learn together, we continue to interact. Danny, I hope you got what I've been saying. Hello?
We are with you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is that fine?
Yes,
For
sir. We've got
everybody?
to assess. Yes, sir. I'm going through the channel now. So
He said? Is that fine by everybody?
Yes, sir. Yes, fine by
I didn't hear you clearly.
Yeah, I said, yeah, it's fine I could proceed so people could just
Can you hear me? I can't hear you again. Daniel, can you confirm you can still hear me? Hello?
We can hear you, sir.
Okay. Let me begin my presentation, therefore. I've titled my presentation as how to position your business to attract and to access funding. So the first thing I want to bring to everybody's attention, which is one of my experience working in a development finance institution, Bank of Industry to be precise, is that this is what I see many Nigerians, this is the issue I have seen that this is the mindset of many Nigerians. They are looking for funds to grow their business instead of building businesses that can grow fund. And I listened carefully to Mrs. Toyin Sani, and where she advised everybody that you must see your present business or your present work as a way you are auditioning for your future role that you need to play. So it means that you must gather enough credibility, trust, build relationship that you can leverage on in the future. So it's very important that you concentrate first and foremost on building businesses that can grow fund, because you are telling people to risk their capital for you. They must be able to assess you and know that you have track record and you have been able to build a business that can grow fund. So that is very, very important that we take that home, that the most important thing is for us to be able to have a business that we are proud of and we know that it can grow fund. So what is business therefore? Many people also mistake business as product and services. That is very wrong. Business is never about product and services. Business is about serving people. I want you to think about that because it's key for you to be able to attract funds. If you must be able to attract funds more, you must understand that business is not about product or service. Business is first and foremost about people, about how to serve people. Whatever fund that you will need, whatever resources you will need, they are in the hands of people. They are in the pocket of people. So if you don't know human relationship, if you don't know how to develop fellowship, if you don't know how to develop worship, you will never be able to get the resources that you need. So the thinking first should be people. You are raising a business to what? To make men so that they can make products and services to serve men. Your business is about making people. It is about solving the needs of people. I am stressing the word business, not self-employment. If it is self-employment, okay, it's about making the needs of people. But if it's a business, you are conscious about raising men that can actually do that product and services. You are creating a money-making machine. That means a system that can run on its own with or without you. Because I need to stress this because this is one of what they call the entrepreneurship myth. One of the entrepreneurship myth is that somebody that is good at doing something, maybe a product or services, all we think that he can run the business that does that product or service. It is a myth. You should not be caught in that, because to be honest with you, you are the worst person that can employ yourself. You are the worst person that can employ yourself. If you employ yourself, you will find out that you will never give yourself sick leave. You will not give yourself sabbatical leave. You will not give yourself even annual leave. You will work yourself morning, afternoon, evening, 24 hours, 7 days in the week. So the idea should be that I am going to create a business. A business is a system that delivers products and services that meet customers' satisfaction, that creates customer satisfaction, with or without you in it. So that should be the mindset. I will create a business. I will create a system. Not that I will stand on my own. I will work for myself. That is self-employment. We are talking about business. So it is business that can attract funds. When you are all about yourself, you are the only one doing it. If you are not there, your hospital will not run. Nobody will want to finance you, because they know that the success of that business lies squarely on yourself. If you are sick, the business will be sick. If you are not fine, the business will be fine. If you go on holiday, the business go on holiday. So that is not the kind of setup we want. We want to create a business. That is why I'm stressing the need of building businesses that can grow from. So it is about people. About people. First, what you see about people is empathy. What is that problem of a people in a given geographical location that grieves your love? That is what they call compassion. You have compassion. You have seen a problem in the society that you complain about every day. You have seen a problem in the society that you are angry about. This can be better. So that should be the basis for you to say, okay, I will create a product or a service to address this. So it doesn't start with the product or service. It starts with the problem that a people is facing that resonate with you, that you cannot stand. You find yourself talking more about it. You find yourself complaining. Everybody you meet, you will share about it. Then that is the problem that you are born to solve. And that is a good starting point for you to create a business that can deliver a solution to address that problem. So I also want to quickly share that your success in business is a function of the size of the community you are willing and able to serve. This is critical. Your success in business is a function of the size of the community you are willing and able to serve. So the size of the community speak to the size of the company, speak to your market. Is there a need for the product or the service that I am willing to render? Market, very key. If you cannot answer yes, you don't even start it at all. Does it address a community, a problem for a community, for a people? If you cannot answer yes, that this product, this service, people need it. Not that you need it, people need it, other people need it. If you are not able to say yes to it, please don't waste your energy. The second is that, are you willing? There are several problems in Nigeria. There are several problems around you. You were not designed to solve all of them. The one that pricks your heart, the one that unlocks your love, your passion, your compassion is the one that you should focus on. That is where the willingness comes in, your passion. Are you passionate about driving and solving this problem? Do you feel that if I don't do it, that something will be missing in my life? No matter what I have achieved, if I don't contribute in solving this problem in the society, I will feel inadequate, I will feel unfulfilled. That is very critical. And the third is ability to solve it. You are willing and able, capacity. And you can never have that capacity to solve this problem sustainably without you building an organization. I will normally tell people that every vision needs an organization for its actualization. Every vision needs an organization for its actualization. And if I must be honest with you, this is where many businesses in Nigeria are not doing so well. It is sad. I've been working in the development space in bank of industry for over going to 16 years now. We give loans to both Nigerians and we give loans to foreigners that have investment in Nigeria. I can tell you for free that we have a lot of issues with Nigerian entrepreneurs. We have a lot of issues. Most of them don't pay back their loan. Most of them, they are willing to pay back, but they are struggling because they have not built necessary structure that will guarantee the future of their business. No structure. It started with them. The business is big. It's still all about them. They have not created structure. Every building needs a proper structure, a solid structure. Otherwise, the future of that business building, the integrity of that building is at stake. So organization is key. Organization. And this talk about how you intend to work with other human beings to actualize your vision. Okay, let me give you a scenario. See a business as a movie. As a movie. You, the entrepreneur, you are like the producer of this movie. Then there is the role of the director. As the producer, you may not be the director of the movie. As the director, it is your responsibility to draw out all the roles and select key actors that can interpret well all those roles. So that is why in business, you talk of managing director. It is responsibility. The chairman is the entrepreneur that have created this enterprise, that have the vision, that have the dream. Then he gets a managing director to help him interpret the dream, who will further create an organization with human beings playing key roles. And it is also his responsibility to select human beings that can interpret the role of a finance manager, of a marketing manager. He needs to select people that are suited for that. If he fails to select people that are suited for it, the business suffers. Then you now have the role of an executive producer. The executive producer is basically the person that provides funding for everything to run. So as a startup, you may fill in all the four roles that I have mentioned. You are the producer, you are the director, you are the actor, and you are the executive producer. But once your business begins to grow, you must separate them. Different people must handle all this. You must have a set of actors now. These are your employees. You must have a director, which is either your general manager or your managing director. Then you must have your executive producer, maybe your banks or any other person that I will be sharing with you how you can, the sources of fund. So you must have all those people. So quickly, I will now want to run you through the different sources of funding that you would like to look at. The first on the list there is personal savings. And again, a lot of people just think of business, and the first thing is that they are looking for somebody that will give them money to do it. How much have you saved for this business? On your own, zero. That does not show that the business is dear to your heart. It does not show that you have the discipline to be able to manage other people's money. The money that you want to get from others, it is the money that they have also kept aside. If you have not been able to keep some money aside, despite all the small resources available to you, then there is an issue. Many people will just explain it away. The money that they give to me in school is not enough. I'm even looking for how to get more. If small is not enough for you, it is a pointer that big resources will not also be enough for you. So you don't need to grow big to manage well. You manage well to grow big. You don't need to be big before you can manage well. So starting from now, if you ever think that you are going to own your own clinic, your hospital, your diagnostic center, whatever business that may appeal to your passion, please start to put money aside for it. It is always lovely when you meet somebody and say, I want you to help me. I need 100 naira, but on my own, I have 30 naira. It makes sense. It shows that you are disciplined. It shows that you are responsible. Than for you to say, I need 100 naira and I have 0 naira. So personal savings is key. If it is your vision, because business is a long term, it's not something you just wake up and say, I want to go into business. So start keeping money away today. Start building necessary assets that you can leverage on in future in terms of your business. If you don't have it now, please, it is never too late. He said the next good time for you to plant a tree is now. If you have not planted it before, this is the next best time for you to plant that seed. Put some money away, have personal savings. The second I called love money. Love money are funds that will come from your loved ones, your father, your mother, your siblings, your friends, your relations. And it is always a good place for you to be able to attract funds. And I love the story that Mrs. Sani shared with us on how she was able to raise funds for her business. So if you like, write 200 pages. It's better you start from those that have known you. They know the kind of person you are. They know how you have lived your life. You have been disciplined. And even what you are doing right now is building credibility. If you were disciplined in school, you had a first class, a second class upper, it already tells a story that you are a serious-minded person. Not that you were in school, you were just gallivanting away and you now want to show people, oh, I have a business idea. They are skeptical that the way you have lived your life, how am I sure that you will be able to manage these resources you want me to commit to your hand? So whatsoever you are doing, understand that the world is a stage, you are an actor, and there are audience. People are watching you. So if you have lived your life, they see how you are very prudent, you are frugal in your spending, oh, and you come up with an idea. Why not? Your loved ones are there. It's always sad. You want to start a business and you cannot look around people within your circumference of influence to say, I will support you with this. It does not necessarily have to be money. They may have a building somewhere and say you can start from there. They may have a machine somewhere and say we can use this one to start. Or they can even offer their time. So that is critical. The next is angels. They call them angel investors. These could be retirees. These could be people, high network individuals that are interested in supporting startups, supporting businesses, especially in their area of interest. So if you are able to understand their area of interest and you are creating solutions around there, they will readily help you. So these are men of high network, but they don't just want to give you money. They also want to give all the support. They may want to have some control in your business. They want to be, they may want to control your finances in one way or the other, just to be sure that what they are investing in succeed. The success of it is more of interest to them. Some of them just want to be part of your success story. And I often tell people that one of the greatest privileges in life is to be part of the success story of other people. So there are some people that see it as a big privilege, that this is an upcoming entrepreneur. This guy can be something great tomorrow. Now it is my opportunity to plug into his life and to be part of this success story. So that is why you must be very careful about your personal brand, so that at any point in time, you are able to attract this kind of people. Then we have business incubators. This is one area that the federal government is also already opening up opportunity for Nigerians. You must have heard of the MSME Trade Shared Facility Center. That is a sort of a business incubation platform where the machineries you need, they can be in one place. So nobody is telling you, you need to have a workshop, you need to have an office, you need to have this machine. The society, the government can actually put that in place. And so that anybody that wants to thrive in that sector does not need to go and borrow. He just only needs to go and use per use he can pay. So you are giving them access to opportunities so that young entrepreneurs can create wealth. And as you heard from my my profile, I have this foundation called NAY Foundation, and that is what we have been promoting. We have what we call the Entrepreneurship Center in Ibadan, and it is a business incubation hub where we are creating shared facility for fashion designers, for photographers, for graphic designers, software developers. Put all the software that they need in place, the gadgets that they need in place, those that are into catering, so that they don't need to go and borrow. They have all these things, they can use it, and they pay just a token to keep the facility running. And that becomes the source of their takeoff point. Then the next is grant and subsidies. You have heard of the Tony Elumelu Fund. There are so many NGOs that also provide grant and subsidy. But most of the time, the criteria for you to access grant and subsidy is very strict. Very strict. You must be doing your business properly. They must see your story. Most of the organizations that give grant and subsidy, they always want to hear your story. And that is why I said the first meta shift is that you must know that business is about people. You cannot be talking your story about things. Your story is sweet when you begin to talk about human beings. Oh, there are this set of people, farmers. My business is about to address the unemployment or the poverty level among farmers, vulnerable farmers. Those are the kind of things that people want to, that endear you to people's heart. And when you can unlock their heart, you can unlock what they have in their hand. Whenever you are able to unlock the heart of men, then you can also unlock what they have in their hand. Then you have venture capital. I want to believe that my time is running very fast, so let me be fast about it. Hello? Daniel, you said what?
Yeah, I have like 10 minutes, sir.
5 minutes.
10 minutes, 10 minutes, sir.
Okay, 10 minutes. Good. So venture capital are a higher level of angel investors. These are mostly institutions that it can be a finance company that are set up to identify some businesses in their growth stage, and they want to invest in them. So most of them, we usually have what we call an exit strategy. That, okay, we're investing in this business in the next 5 years, we want to sell our shares. We will take you to the stock exchange, you will do your IPO, then that is the way we are going to exit, or we can still retain some percentage in this company. And another one is crowdfunding. This is a little bit new in Nigeria, but it's beginning to gain ground. That you can have a business and source your fund from diverse people. I personally believe that we need to promote more crowdfunding, especially for social enterprise, where you make people to understand that I have the dream of building this road that will serve these two communities. The government is not forthcoming. The government resources are very thin, but we can help ourselves. Why can't we put money, resources together and build it, and people fund it for you? So it is very, it's a way that we can begin to finance initiative. Another way you can see crowdfunding, just imagine I want to buy Palm Mall or any shopping complex, and it's going for 1 billion, and I don't have 1 billion. And I'm telling some people, look, if we can pay for this shopping mall 1 billion, the annual rent is about 100 million every year. So what do we want to do? Contribute. We are selling minimum shares in buying this mall for 1 million. So we need how many thousands of people to contribute 1 million for us to be able to buy? So you begin to, and if you contribute 1 million, from the annual rent that we'll be getting from this shopping mall, the next year or even this year, at the end of the year, you are going to get this return. People will be interested. So it is a product that we can be very innovative about, and you can begin to even use it within your cycle to finance big projects without you breaking your head over it. Just gather some friends together and say, look, let this an opportunity, and if you put this amount of money into it, this is the return on investment. So again, trust is very important. If you have never been trusted for anything, you can never be able to sell this kind of dream to other people. But if you have trust, people believe in you over time. You can start from your family and friends, and you'll be able to raise such money. And the last, which is, I know is very of interest to many people, is the bank loan. And we have various banks in Nigeria that can actually give you this kind of support. And Bank of Industry, which is a development finance institution, is one of those banks that is thriving in this sector. And we are really, really helping a lot of Nigerians with patient capital to be able to actualize their dream. When I say patient capital, it means that we give you long-term loans for you to be able to actualize your dream. And we finance purely your plant and machinery. So all that the entrepreneur needs to put in place is a business premises. It could either be leased or is personal asset. So once you have a lease, a rented place for the business, every machine that you need, Bank of Industry can fund it for you. And that is very, very encouraging. You can also approach your bankers, commercial banks, and they are able to give you loan. It's just that sometimes the interest rate for commercial banks may be a little bit on the high side for you, but they do finance businesses. So I will be zeroing in now on the ABCD of BOI loans. What are the things you need to have in place? To summarize it, is that first and foremost, you must have an application letter sent in. So if they don't finance businesses, I'll be looking on how to access Bank of Industry loan. Why not apply? That is the first step you need to, that is all that you need to do first to apply. If you have not applied, you can't really complain that you have not been able to access Bank of Industry loan. And the second thing is your business plan. Your business plan, I must stress here, is not something that is a living document. It's a living document. It's not just going to the internet and look out for the format of a business plan and you are just writing word for word what you have found there. No, it is not about that. Your business plan is it should be tailor-made to what you want to achieve. It is your business. There are several roads, like our people will say, to the market. So nobody will ever judge you and say, why are you going to this road? The important thing is that you are getting to this place, and this is the how I want to get to that place. So your business plan usually comes after your feasibility study. It's different from feasibility study. Feasibility study is you analyzing this business to see whether it is technically feasible, whether it is financially viable, whether it is economically desirable for you to venture into it. So that is feasibility plan. Now that you have ascertained that this business is good, I will not lose money, then tell us how you intend, the plan that will drive it, the plan that will get you to the finish line, or whatever goal you have set for yourself. In the next 3 years, I want to be at this position. How do you intend to achieve it? That is a plan. So it's not really a feasibility study. It is how you intend. So that if I look at your business plan, I can tell the major activities that you'll be engaging, your employees will be engaging, who will be doing what, and how they will be doing it in order to realize your business objective. And it is important, we also stress here that Bank of Industry does not provide funds to businesses that are not registered. So your corporate registration with CAC becomes very, very important. You must be registered as a business name or a limited liability company, or you are registered as an enterprise. A business name, a limited liability company, or a corporate or a cooperative society, which you can do with any of the state government. They have Ministry of Commerce and Industry. You can register there. Then documentation. The documentation here will involve other things that you need to submit to Bank of Industry. First, Bank of Industry will never give you cash for you to buy the machines that we usually buy for you. You need to provide us an invoice. So you have to select your supplier. And to you to select your supplier, the business process of supplier selection requires that you must have asked for invoices and cross-check prices from 3 vendors. You don't go to the market and they just tell you this is how much this calculator is, and you just dip hand in your pocket and pay. You want to be very sure that that is the prevailing price. So we must be sure that you have done that. So you are buying the best machine from a reliable source. So you send us invoices and you tell us this is the one I have chosen. We verify all that. So invoices is part of your documentation. The next documentation will be your means of identification. And let me just quickly say that all our loans also are collateralized. But in order to help startups, Bank of Industry can give loans up to 10 million without a collateral. We give loans up to 10 million without a collateral. All you need is social collateral. And what is social collateral is, again, your guarantors, your father, your sister that may have a business, maybe a civil servant from level 12 and above. All those people can stand in for you to say, yes, we don't have money to give to our brother or our friend, but we can vouch for his integrity that when he gets this money, he will be able to utilize it very well. We trust his capability and his capacity. So that is the issue of collateral, up to 10 million. Then above 10 million, then you need to provide a level of collateral, which will be landed property in an urban area that have a valid title document, a CFO, or you are giving us a bank guarantee. That means your banker is saying, no, he has been doing business with us, he wants to expand, and we can provide a bank guarantee that, look, he will not default. If he default, we are going to pay. So those are just the 2 ways that you can secure our loan, or 3 ways now: bank guarantee, collateral, which is landed property that have a CFO in an urban area, all the capitals in Nigeria, the state capitals. Then we have guarantors, external guarantors, a businessman, a professional, a lawyer, a banker, a medical director, doctor, an architect. All of them can stand in as your guarantor, an accountant. Just name the profession. So long as we are able to certify that these people have going concern, they are reputable, they are responsible, they can stand in for you. So the last I would go, if I still have time, would have been some of the issues we have with startup, those that apply for loan. But I believe that your questions will also help me to answer some of that. So if you have questions, this will be a good time to ask.
Thank you very much. If you have questions, you can ask you on the question or in the comment.
The line seems to be breaking.
Okay, sir.
So can they ask their questions?
Okay. You can questions just YouTube channel that you the questions you attend to them.
Daniel, I can't hear you. Let me switch to my mobile.
Okay.
Mr. Daniel, please check your connection very well.
Okay, I can hear other people. I can hear other people, Daniel. So Daniel, the issue was from you then. Akinola, if we have questions, can we ask?
Hello, if we have questions, please send them in. You can drop your questions on YouTube, Facebook, they'll be sent here. And also you can use the question and answer section, or just drop them in the chat box. Hello, Mr. Daniel, I think you're back with us.
Mr. Daniel, your audio is very bad.
Oh my God. Mr.
Mr. Daniel, we still can't hear you.
Hello, if there are people that have questions, please can you ask directly so that we can, because we can't hear Mr. Daniel clearly.
Hello, sir. Engineer Pakwin, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, we have a question here in the question and answer session.
Good.
I'm reading the question, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
The first one says, please, sir, thank you for the teaching. My question is that for startup, particularly in agriculture, if one is interested in going to plantation and processing, it usually requires a lot of money, even if you want to start small, and one may not start getting income until 3 years or 5 years. What kind of funding is proper for this kind of business?
Thank you. I so much like this question because it gives me the opportunity to explain certain things to young entrepreneurs. First, to answer your question directly, a development finance institution would have been your best bet that is able to provide you a long-term loan that we have also a good gestation period, a moratorium. That means you shouldn't be paying back when you are not making any income from your farm. So that means if it will take you 3 years for you to start generating revenue from the farm, then the development finance institution should be able to give you a moratorium of 3 years. So the next question will be, do you have such development finance institution in Nigeria that can give you a loan with a gestation period, a moratorium period, or a grace period of 3 years? That your chances are very slim. For crop production, we have what we call the Bank of Agriculture, which is a federal government institution that have the mandate to finance agricultural production. So they are your best bet, and they are almost available in every local government of the country. So so you have to reach out to Bank of Agriculture for that. But will they be able to give you 3 years moratorium? I doubt. So the second advice, which is what I want you to take to heart, will be that if you are starting your business, there is what we call the cash conversion cycle, CCC, triple C, cash conversion cycle. And the wisdom, your cash conversion cycle simply talks about from the time within your business cycle. That means from the time money goes out from you to purchase raw material or to invest in any stock, any inventory. How long does it take for money to come into the business? Because business is all about expenses and income. If you spend money today in this business, how long will you receive money? That thing that you spend money on can turn to money. That is your cash conversion cycle. It's a little bit, there are details to it. But the wisdom I want to put across to every startup here is that look out for different business venture and look for the one that have the shortest cash conversion cycle. And I can give you a guide. The businesses that have the shortest cash conversion cycle are usually buying and selling. You can buy Gary today from one village, take it to one market, sell it. That means you spend money in the morning. In the afternoon, you are in another Bodija market or you are in Ife market, you have sold it. Money has come back. So your cash conversion cycle is a matter of hours. Services also have short cash conversion cycles. Manufacturing, processing also have a relatively short cash conversion cycle, but it will take you time to build the productive capital. That means machineries for you to be able to enjoy that cash conversion cycle. Crop production have a very long cash conversion cycle. You are planting, you want to go into cassava. How long? Between 9 to 12 months before your cassava will mature. So for 9 to 12 months, you are spending. I can tell you for free, businesses that have long cash conversion cycle are not good enough for entrepreneurs, startup entrepreneurs, except you have a deep pocket, somebody is ready to bankroll you for that long. Otherwise, it's better for you to start. There must be a place, even if you love to do Gary, you want to do into cassava. Are you getting it? The best way for you to start, you look at the value chain. I want to be into Gary production. I want to be selling Gary. Sales of Gary is one value chain. Processing Gary is one value chain. Production of Gary in the farm is another value chain. Buying the stem is another value chain. Input farm into is another value chain. So where do I fit in? I will always advise, start from selling Gary, because that has the shortest cash conversion cycle. Then you can work yourself back towards processing, then towards farming of the cassava. If you start from there, you will always make a success. So if you look at Dangote, for example, he started selling. Today is into manufacturing. So selling, salesmanship, and apprenticeship, they are, to me, the solution to youth unemployment, rather than I want to own my company. Start by understanding building relationship and how to you build customer relationship. Start by selling something. It is one of the most difficult parts in a value chain. The ability to convince another man to buy your product is very difficult. So if you are dealing with cassava in the farm, cassava doesn't even complain to you. So you think you are succeeding. You have not succeeded. When you start dealing with human beings, that is where the acid test to know whether you are succeeding in your business. So my advice is that please start from the tail end and work yourself backward.
All right, thank you very much, sir. There's another question here. Approaching the Bank of Industry seems to be a rather long approach and seems rather complicated. For a beginner or a startup who has a business idea, what are the provisions of the Bank of Industry for SMEs? As a student, what steps can I take considering that I have no funds at all?
Okay, like I've already explained, the Bank of Industry have one of the loan products that is really startup friendly, because we don't bore you with getting collateral, buildings, bank guarantee for up to 10 million. So all we are asking you to leverage is relationship you have built with human beings in your love cycle, your family, your relation, and any religion you belong to. You must have been meeting with people. If they don't have money and they are willing to stand in for you, Bank of Industry will help you with a loan up to 10 million. But how be that as it may, you must have created a good business. It's business we finance. We don't just finance an idea. It's not always good that you have an idea and you go to the bank for loan. It is too risky. Whatever idea you have, you must have a way of to pilot the idea. Please take it from me that it takes time for you to be able to stabilize in business. And when you are gathering that momentum, you have to limit a lot of distraction, because you are walking a path that is unpredictable yet. If you take a loan, your loan repayment is very predictable. Every month you must pay a certain amount. But your income from the onset, they are not predictable. You may sell, you may not sell. So that is why using loans to start up a business becomes very risky. So no matter how miniature, small the business is, try to create it and build that stability. Let there be constant alert coming into your account by reason of that business. Then loan will just help you to scale it. I normally tell people that if loan is like you trying to climb a 10-story building, there are two options. You have the staircase that can take you up. You also have the lift. Loan is your lift, but the staircase is your organic growth. Anybody, an investor, any banker that knows his onions must be able to see your staircase before he even give you a loan. That means your staircase is that if I don't give you a loan as a banker, I can see that yet you will still grow. You will still be able to move forward this dream. It may take you longer time. It may be very stressful, but you have an option B. But if all your business idea is about, if I don't get loan, I don't move forward, then it's not a good, you have not done your homework very well. You must build that staircase. And there is advantage in building a staircase. When you walk staircase, you develop muscles, you develop stamina. But if you wait for the lift, as you are pressing it in ground 0, somebody may be using it in ground on floor 8. And until he is done with it, you will not. So loan is not within your control, but your staircase is always within your control. You can move up anytime you choose to move up.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes.
There's another question here. It says, thank you so much, sir, for this lecture. Please, how does the location of a business affect the outcome of the business?
Location. Your location, if you have ever, there is what we call factors for citing a business. Even in your factors of production, location is key. And from my presentation, I told you that your success is a function of the size of the community.
Your success is a function of the size of the community. You are willing and able to serve. So if your location is maybe one village that have only 11 buildings, then that has already limited the size of the community that you are able to serve. And that invariably will limit the success, your level of success, or the kind of growth that you can experience. So your location is key. And when you are choosing location, there are... Hello?
Yes, sir, we are with you, sir.
Okay. When you are choosing a location, there are certain things to consider. First, it is closeness, proximity to your market. Proximity, if you are a manufacturer, proximity to your major raw material becomes very critical as well. Then you can also choose your location by looking at availability of skilled or cheap labor. So one of the reasons why many American firms left US and went to set up in China was availability of cheap labor. But China did not just boast of cheap labor, they also boast of skilled labor. Today in the world, if you talk of concentration of skilled labor, you'll find it in China. In any profession. It's cheap, but they are well skilled. So that has attracted a lot of companies to set up there. So you are looking at market, you are looking at labor, you are looking at raw materials, then you should also look at the environment, enabling environment, paying attention to critical infrastructure, because you must be mindful of cost. If you set up in a place that does not have power, that means your recurring cost for buying fuel becomes a problem. So you must look at nature, which is environment. You must look at manpower availability. You must look at market, and you must look at proximity to raw materials.
Thank you very much, sir. Yes, I have some other questions here. It says, sir, please, investment in healthcare and setting up healthcare facilities, how viable is it in a society like ours?
I think you are just looking for what is in my mouth. Everyone knows that we all need health to create wealth on earth. So I want the person that asked that question to repeat that to himself. You need health to create wealth on earth. That means no matter the level of our preparedness, no matter the skills that we have gone to university or any platform to gather, when our health is challenged, then our ability to create wealth has been jeopardized. And you don't need to look any further. Think of it. If it was not for health reason, do you think that the whole world could have been locked down? Just to tell you how critical health is. It brought the whole world to their knees. That shows how significant anybody in the healthcare sector is. And Bank of Industry have products and special fund for healthcare. Our dream is that we should stop medical tourism by all means. So what I will advise, you may not be in the position now to be able to access our fund to buy all the equipment. Please, you will be doing Nigerian this service. You must have been relating with doctors. You must have been relating, you are working in any medical care. Please let them know. Bank of Industry can finance any type of machine that they need. So there's no need for us to travel to China, to India, to US, to UK. All those equipment, at least the people that are producing them, they are not told us they cannot sell to us. So long that they can sell it, Bank of Industry can finance it. So please and please help to spread this message. We need to stop medical tourism. Look at, if not for God, because we are thriving in COVID. Everybody has returned to normal. Business is not business as usual in Nigeria. Many people are not wearing masks again. Just living carelessly. All we can say is that we have healthcare infrastructure. Again, Nigeria is saying is God. But how long can we continue like this? We need to build critical health infrastructure from primary health centers to tertiary teaching hospitals. We need to build them. And that is a huge opportunity you can leverage. And there are so many businesses tied to that, health insurance. People are doing telemedicine now, so you don't even need to have a hospital before you can start to practice and make money. So think outside the box, and you will.
Thank you very much, sir.
See how far you fly.
Thank you very much, sir. We are running way behind schedule, and we still have about 5 questions in the question and answer session. And so I would like to appeal that if you could answer them in the question and answer session directly, sir.
No problem.
So we can move on, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you now.
All right. Apologies for the break in transmission. I had some network issues. So thank you very much, Engineer Parkman. That was a practical session. That was an awesome session to be able to learn something. So thank you very much for coming up on this platform. And so those people that ask questions, you could just send your questions via the Q&A session, or so that Engineer Parkman could give answers to them. So thank you very much. Now, so right now we'll be having the last session from Mrs. Omar Clark.
Daniel?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, just a quick one. I want to reiterate. Sorry to cut in. I just want to quickly reiterate that, like I start from the beginning, I stated, I don't want a situation you talk today and it is over. Please let us see what can come out practically from this. And I have said I'm making myself available. Let's continue the conversation. It will be my joy that I can point at 1 or 2 projects coming out from this session, from this engagement. I really want to know that we have not wasted our time today. That somebody, you have met with somebody, you have my contact. I don't know, Daniel, you have my contact. Please feel free to share it. And I've also said, go to the Entrepreneurship TV, like the 7 active words that you need to attract funds. Send me questions and I will answer them. I want to meet with people personally and I want to take this to a logical conclusion. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I would get a contact from either the president or the assistant general. So thank you very much, sir. So I would get back to you after this session. Thank you very much. So right now we'll be having the last session from Mrs. Omar Clark. Ms. Omar, please could you unmute your if you can hear me, you could just say you could just tell me if you could hear me. Mrs. Omar Clark, if you are here.
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. It's nice seeing you. It's nice seeing you, Mrs. Omar. Thank you very much for staying through. So I will just read you. Mrs. Omar Clark will be speaking to us about the young entrepreneurs in Nigeria changing the status quo. I will just read out a citation before she starts. So okay, Mrs. Omar Clark. Okay. Mrs. Omar Clark is the founder and CEO of IBIS. I'm sure I'm correct with this pronunciation. So a software services and a consulting company that specializes in custom web and software application development. Omar is a qualified IT practitioner and technology entrepreneur with over 20 years of experience in software development that covers program management, business analysis, system design, application testing, application support, change management, release management, and vendor management. She designed the online platforms AndyJags, www.andyjags.com, enable people find handymen on demand and let's share, www.letshare.com.ng, due to be launched Q4 2020. So for accommodation seekers to find rooms to rent in a house on flat share. So prior to starting up IBs, she worked with an international trade firm in Lagos as chief operating officer, Soft Solutions Limited, Lagos as head of project delivery and support, Icelandic Investment Bank, Caputin, Singer and Fredlander, London, UK as project manager, leading the software development team in developing banking applications. So the investment banking Lehman Brothers UK as team leader in the mortgage capital division, tasked with leading the web and support teams responsible for online mortgage origination, product development and application support services, and real assets management UK software house as application support consultant. Mrs. Omo Clark is an alumna of Brunel University UK with MSc in Information Systems and London Guildhall University UK with BA Honours in Business Admin, a Global Women Entrepreneurs Initiative Fellow of the Ivan Allen College, Georgia Institute of Technology, Atlanta, USA, a member of the Institute of Software Practitioners of Nigeria, a member of the Nigeria Internet Registration Association, a Mara mentor, and is ISO 9001 qualified. So it's nice having you on this platform, Mrs. Omo. So we hope that we'll be able to learn something from your session. So thank you very much, Maso. I'm handing over up to you now.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for this invitation. It's an honor. I almost feel as if I went to IFE because my father and my mother actually finished from IFE, but way before your times, you know. I think they went in the late 60s, so none of you was born. They actually met in IFE and then got married, so it's a long story. But anyways, thanks for having me. I'm a little bit conscious of time, you know, because I thought I have a training session by 4. So I thought by now we'll be done and I'll go and prepare for that one. So I'll have to rush through. But, you know, thanks, I'll do my best. Let me just introduce myself a little bit. You did a wonderful job, you know, so a lot of times I wanted to butt in, but, you know what I mean, I let you continue. So I'm a software developer. I've got about 20 years of experience working in software development. I run iBase, so that's the way you pronounce it. We're a software development and training company. So we do everything from building websites, software applications. We train people on digital and software development skills and the like. And then we built HandyJags, and then we also have Let's Share. If you haven't checked out HandyJags, you can go and check it out now. I almost feel as if everything I'll be saying is kind of like a summary of what everybody has said, right from Mrs. Sani, you know what I mean, down to the last speaker, because they've covered every single thing. So what I'll be talking a little bit, I'll be talking from the perspective of obviously opportunities, yeah, in the market. But I will, because I'm talking to, I think, medical people, it will be, we'll look at what's available in the medical or what is available using tech for medical, if you call it health tech, I think that's the word now. And then obviously as a software developer, you know, I'm talking about software as well. So just, I don't have slides. I hope that's okay, yeah? You guys just look at my face. But I'm gonna be really fast. I do apologize for that because I need to go. So just as a way of introduction and talking about sustainable development and economic development and entrepreneurship. So I think Mrs. Sani and Engineer Parkwins and then the other chap, I forget his name, I do apologize for that. They did like excellent jobs really talking about entrepreneurship, you know what I mean, defining everything and talking about the personalities and that. So I'll look at opportunities and things like that. And I'll talk a little bit about how I got started. So first, let's talk about what's happening in Nigeria. I think with the pandemic, so a lot of people have mentioned the pandemic, how that's affected businesses, affected everything. You know, one of the things that it did, to be honest, is it just really exacerbated the issues that we already had. It widened the issues we already had. So many things were happening before. And I don't think it's like nobody knew. People knew, but we were going on with our life. But when COVID-19 came, and then when the lockdown came, that just like brought a lot of things to fore. And one of the things that it brought to the fore is the gaps and the challenges we have in the healthcare sector, both from an infrastructure perspective, from healthcare provision perspective, and all that. I think all through the value chain, we could see gaps, everywhere. So these are obviously opportunities for people to do things. So we're talking about opportunities and beating the odds. The last speaker said, something, health is wealth, So without good health, obviously, there cannot be any sustainable development. So it's one of the key areas we need to look at. And you guys are all medical people, I believe. I may be wrong. So, the opportunities there are really for you to leverage. In Nigeria now, 70% roughly of the population live in semi-urban and rural areas. And these are the areas where they have the most challenges, with everything. With living standards, with healthcare, with every single thing, And it's not like the other side of it doesn't have challenges, but the 70% are the ones that suffer the most. And sometimes, like when we talk about healthcare, people are suffering and dying from ailments that are preventable. So to tackle economic development, we really need to look into this. Now, what are actually the problems we have in Nigeria? Because if we're trying to prefer solutions and stuff like that, we really need to know what we're looking at and what we're dealing with. At the moment, some of the problems we're facing in Nigeria are to do with, number one, poverty, And that's 70% I'm talking about, Their poverty is like a big thing there. So at the moment, Nigeria is apparently the poverty capital of the world. Statistics say going on to nearly 90 million of Nigerians live in extreme poverty. That's, they live below $2 a day, and that's a problem, Then unemployment. I heard somebody say the other day that the job market is broken. Is it really broken? I don't know, But the thing is, youth are unemployed, people are unemployed. I think the last stats show they said 21.7 million Nigerians are unemployed. Graduates are graduating, no jobs, what to do. And then we're also grappling with rising prices, fuel prices, electricity prices, everything is going up, crude prices are fallen. So it's a big problem. So what are the solutions? What do we do? Especially as young entrepreneurs, trying to do something and just, live good lives, really. What can we do? I think if we roll back a little bit, entrepreneurial, when we talk about entrepreneurship, I think I'm aware that most universities, and it's not just Nigerian universities, I think it's everywhere, or in most places, at least in the last, during my time anyways, most universities don't teach about entrepreneurship, and they don't teach about digital skills. These are some things that are essential now, if you want to survive in the world, to be honest, as personally and as a business. I have an uncle that's a professor of medicine in a Nigerian university. And he says to me that in Nigeria, the way medicine is taught, it's just focused on the science. And, so obviously a lot of entrepreneurship is not, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but they don't really focus on entrepreneurship. I apologize for that. So now, and apparently medical students, or medical doctors, you're trained to treat one person at a time with a stethoscope, which means how do you reach that 70% of the Nigerian population that don't have healthcare? So it becomes a problem, So now the thing is, going forward, what do we do? How do you break the status quo? How do you change this? Now, I think the first thing is we need to stop. So as a student doctor or something, you need to stop thinking of yourself as just a medical doctor, but also an entrepreneur. I had to do the same. Even though I studied business for my first degree, I studied IT. We were never taught about entrepreneurship. So I grew up wanting to work in a company, rise up the ranks and all that, It really never occurred to me about entrepreneurship was never in my radar, to be honest, me personally. So I hear stories about people. For me, it wasn't that. For me, the way I started out, being an entrepreneur, especially in the Nigerian scene, I think it was really challenging. I call it either a dual or a triple challenge, because the first thing, I moved to Nigeria about 11 years ago. So the first thing is grappling how business is done in Nigeria. That was the problem. Second problem is also then trying to find out how, well, the second thing, I think somebody or two people of the former speakers mentioned it. You know, for me, I'm a software developer. I did well. When I was working, I did very well. So when I decided to go and start up, I thought, you know, I've got skills in software. I've got talent. So I thought it was a no-brainer. If I go out to work, obviously people will come and buy from me. But it was shocking for me, you know what I mean? For the first year, I went through, first of all, I went through a 5 months period when I actually branched out to start working by myself, where I didn't earn even a tenkobo, no money at all. I was living from hand to mouth because I had absolutely no financial support. And even when sometimes I started earning money, it wasn't like I was earning millions. So I'm hearing people talking about raising billions. For me, it wasn't that. It was just like, oh my God, I just needed to survive. So if I get a job, 10K, I'll rush it and do it. Actually, I almost gave up a few times, but then, you know, I thought, well, you know, give it a little bit of, give it another go. So, and I did. But I think, you know, for young people today, the first thing you need to do is try and develop an entrepreneurial mindset. That one I didn't have when I started out. An entrepreneurial mindset is really just a way of thinking and resilience that enables you overcome challenges. You know what I mean? It enables you become decisive, responsible for your outcomes, and you think things through properly and not just rush and do things. You know, when I started business, I didn't have any savings. I didn't start with money, you know what I mean? So I did things the wrong way around. But, you know, you need to discover and have some of these disciplines before you go on and start. And then, so when you're studying now, really you need to start thinking of ideas, you know what I mean? Start thinking of sustainable, innovative solutions and services that you can offer to solve problems. We have so many problems around us in Nigeria. You really don't even need somebody to tell you anything. There are so many things. The way I started my handy jacks, you know, was in my house. I was in the house trying to get people to fix my house. It was just a challenge, you know, from one person to another. You call a plumber, it's a problem. Call an electrician, problem. Call a carpenter, problem. Until one day I came across a plumber that was just so good. You know what I mean? It was the first person I'd met, like, he just did the job, he did it excellently. So I said to him, Shola, how far? The person that taught you must have been very good. The guy's like, he went to technical school. It was a long story short, you know what I mean? Like, he went to technical college in Nigeria, like, yeah. I'm like, so there are more people like you out there? Yes. Why don't we find them? He goes, they are there. So I'm like, what if I build a platform so that people can find people like you, you know, if they need them? And that's, you know, just a summary of how that Handy Jack story started. It was a problem I saw, came up with a solution, and then we went for it. It's not been easy, you know, I mean, I can't say I've arrived as an entrepreneur, a business person, you know, we are daily learning. The other challenge I had was like, which I think Engineer Parkins actually talked about, was like, because I'm a software developer and, you know, if I say so myself, I'm pretty good at what I do. I know what I'm doing, but running a business was a challenge, you know what I mean? So I had to learn how to run a business, and I'm still learning. You know, I had to learn how to manage finances, and I'm still learning, you know? So you need some of these skills if you want to be an entrepreneur. It's part of all of that. There, you know, in Nigeria, like I say, I'm rushing a little bit. There are many opportunities in the healthcare sectors that you guys can start looking into and getting your teeth in, you know. And so first of all, changing the status quo, you know. So I think thinking of yourself as an entrepreneur, you know, thinking of new ways to disrupt things and do things differently. So we need to stop thinking really about, okay, I mean, and you can still do that. There's nothing wrong with that, but just being a doctor sitting in a hospital, whether it's private or government. So how can you deliver healthcare in a sustainable manner to masses of people? Technology, obviously, you know what I mean, is one of the ways you can do that. With technology, you can do things quicker, faster, better, you know what I mean, with a click of a button most of the times. And also data analytics, you know what I mean. I think there's a lot of data out there, and I think as medical people as well, you use a lot of data, you generate a lot of data. All of this needs to be properly managed. So with proper data management, data analytics, you know what I mean, You can predict better, make decisions better, make more accurate forecasts and things. And I think here as doctors, you use algorithms, you use a lot of predictions, even for, so for all of these things can be automated and done faster, so, and it doesn't, there's robotics, there's AI that you can use to start delivering solutions, but we don't even have to go that far. You know what I mean? Just with a smartphone, people can start receiving good medical services. My sister-in-law told me a story. She's a university lecturer in Delta State. And she told me one day she's sitting in her office, she heard two cleaners outside having a discussion. And one of them was like, oh, her mother is seriously sick because she took the wrong medication. She took wrong drugs. That's what she called it, the wrong medication. And she's like, if she was at home, she would have Googled it really quickly. So her mother wouldn't have taken it, but because she wasn't there, the mother took it. So you see how easy that is. Even the cleaner knows she can go to Google quickly, and be Googling this thing. So these are some of the solutions you can start putting in. You can low-hanging fruits, things that people can start doing quickly. You can automate, automating manual and paper-based processes. So for example, I remember once I went to my doctor, this is a couple of years ago, so maybe they've changed now, but I hadn't been there in a long time. And then I got there and they said to me, oh, we need to open new file for you. I'm like, how are you opening new file when I was here not too long ago and you opened the file for me? They said, we can't find your file. So why don't you have an automated system? That's the thing. So you can automate things like that, very simple, patient records, but it even goes a little bit bigger than that with cloud solutions now. If you automate these things, you can share records between multiple hospitals everywhere. So if I leave Lagos State and I go to Delta State, you know what I mean, and I meet a doctor there, they can easily access my records. They don't even have to, be calling people or doing anything, things like this. So these are some of the things you can start doing. I remember, during the lockdown, we built some kind of solutions, and not very fancy solutions, but for people to start doing things. We've built like e-clinics for people so that you don't have to leave your house to speak to a doctor for consultation. We've built a blood data management system so that, because there's a blood gap in Nigeria, so that people can start, managing that process better. You can access blood quickly, again, click of a button, things like that. So there are so many things we can, you can start looking at. These are the status quo, so what are e-clinics? That's telemedicine, wearable devices. You can start thinking of solutions you can create that can solve problems. Entrepreneurship is not just running a business like that, it's solving problems, making an impact. So, the opportunities are vast, So while you're studying, you can be thinking, look at the problems, what can you do? What can you start? What kind of solutions can you start putting together? With technology, the good thing is your startup capital is really, really low. So you don't need masses of money to start with anyways, to start doing things. So I'm not gonna take a lot of time, like I say, because I'm sort of in quite a rush. I'm just gonna conclude. I want to conclude by saying that, you young chaps, you are the people of the future. You've got technology, you've got so many opportunities, to go out there to do things. You've got massive opportunities to change the status quo, to change the way things have traditionally been done. Yeah, technology really allows you to bypass a lot of infrastructure and logistic challenges that we have in our communities. So what I would like to leave you with is, the first thing you need to do, you need to have a vision, and then focus, because you can only go as far as you can see. So have a vision, focus, and then believe in yourself, For anybody that is like, oh, can I actually go out and do something? Can I come up with a solution? Believe in yourself, There's nothing like a rubbish idea. If the first idea you have does not work, and the first idea does not work for many, many people, or you can just dust yourself up, and start all over again, come up with something else. And never limit yourself, Think big. And think deep, all of the problems and challenges we face in Nigeria cannot be solved by peripheral solutions, so you really need to be thinking of, deep, good solutions. You need to really be ingenious in that way. And then work in areas that you care about, and take risks, but good risks, calculated risks. Don't just do anything anyhow, Take risk. And above all, take action, do something. Don't just sit there. So I would like to stop here. I know it's a very short one, but everybody has said everything today, really. So this is, just my encouragement for you guys to go out there and go and do stuff. Thank you so much. If there are any questions, I can take really quickly before I run away.
All right, thank you very much. Please, if you have any question, could just ask. That was the first of it. Thank you very much, Ms. Omola.
Yeah.
So if you have any question, please. If you have any question, please kindly drop a question. The comment section is space of 1-2 minutes, please. Please. All right.
Okay.
Okay, if there are, let me just 1 minute more, please, so that we could just round up the session, please. Kindly. So, okay. In case you have any other, in case you have your question, okay, I think there's a question. Okay. How can a medical student start the software development? Like, how can a medical student start software development? Okay, I think I need to make I don't know if Mrs. Omola can hear me. I need to clarify that not only medical students are on this platform. We have other students from across the board, from other departments, of course, joining sessions. So okay, the first question: how can medical students start software development? Mrs. Omola. Okay. I want to know if she's still there. Mrs. Omo, I think she has done. Okay. You could just text your questions. I know that probably Mr. Temitaya could just note those questions and you could just get your answer later. I don't know. Let's just wait for some few seconds, minutes. Okay. She hasn't joined yet. Oh. I don't know. Okay. Mrs. Omo, if you're there, could just unmute or could just unmute the microphone. All right. We won't have to wait for so long. If you have your questions, you could just send your questions to Mr. Temitaya or Femi Matthew. Or the questions in the Q&A section will be noted and they will be answered. You could just follow the social media platforms for your answers and you get your answers there. So thank you very much. So I'll invite Mr. Temitaya or Femi Matthew, the Assistant Secretary, to give his closing remarks and vote of thanks. Mr. Temitaya or Femi Matthew, are you there?
Yes, I am. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our wonderful speakers. We have come to the end of the IFUMSA Virtual Entrepreneurship and Economics Summit 2020, and it's been a really great success. I'm grateful to the organizing committee chairman, Adeoluwa Oluwokere, for the opportunity given me to give the vote of thanks and closing remarks. I would say this opportunity for me comes as quite a sad task because it marks the end of this very wonderful summit that has seen us have discussions and interactions that will provoke reactions that we believe will make the Nigerian economy better. However, it is also an opportunity to wish our wonderful speakers, bid them a farewell. And I appreciate our Dean, our Dean of Faculty of Clinical Sciences, Professor Dayo Showande, even in his absentia, was with us yesterday, as well as the Vice Chancellor of Bafemi Awolowo University, Professor Itopo Ogunbonede, even in his absentia. We are grateful to them both. I appreciate our speakers, Mrs. Tony Stanley. Thank you very much for joining us, Ma. And one particular part I admire about you, Ma, is how you carry the Mrs. title everywhere you go. There's always a Mrs. Thank you very much for joining us, Ma. Mr. Olushi Yakinyoye, thank you very much as well, sir. This is Temitayo Matthew. Good to put a face behind all the email. Thank you very much, sir. It was a brilliant session with you. Mr. Park, Engineer Parko is a rapper. That was absolutely wonderful. Thank you very, very much, sir. And we are really very grateful for the mentorship offer you are making to our members. We are very grateful. Thank you very much. Mrs. Omo Clark, we are very grateful as well. We are very sorry we had to take so much of your time. We hope that you forgive us, and we are very grateful. It was a great session despite how short. Now, I'm also grateful to all my thanks to the IFUMSA Capacity Executive Council, led by the President, Akinola Beloved, the Vice President, Adegbewolade James, my General Secretary. I'm privileged to serve as the Assistant General Secretary, the Public Relations Officer, Joy Fibiset, the Treasurer, Onima Velosolamide, the Financial Secretary, Muyiwa Olishonjo, the Welfare Secretary, I'm grateful to you all. I'm also grateful to the organizing committee of this virtual summit, ably led by the chairman, Adeoluwa Oluwokere. Thank you very much. It's been a great pleasure working under you. Grateful to the members of the team, Mosoke, Deraoluwa, Mobori Odamilola, Jumomi Durojaye. Thank you very much for the energy you all bring to the table. Also one particular member of this team who is, the host, the man behind the host, Balogu Emmanuel. You are doing a very wonderful job. Thank you very much for everything. This summit would have been greatly incomplete without you. And I'm indebted to every IFUM site outside the local organizing committee who had to put in one thing or the other. ESCOs fall into this category, one thing, and even non-ESCOs who put in one thing or the other to make this summit a success. We are very grateful. Thank you very, very much. Now, of course, I appreciate our participants, our attendees, those that joined yesterday, those that joined today, those that joined on both days. We are very grateful. You are an integral part of this success. There's no summit without the attendees, no summit without the participants. Last time we checked, we had about 700 registered participants, and then we had the numbers on some not in the YouTube room, some on YouTube, on Facebook, via our website live stream. We are very grateful to you. Thank you for registering. Thank you for counting on us to deliver content, and I believe we've delivered true premium content. Thank you very much. Special mention to our alumni, non-medical students, medical students from Southwest Nigeria, from all over Nigeria, non-OAU students. We are grateful to you all. Non-medical students in OAU, we are grateful to you all. Thank you very much for being a part of this success story of IFUMSA. We are really very grateful. Now, may I remind you that all sessions are recorded. All sessions are recorded just as they are being streamed live. Now, we are going to send follow-up emails to all registered participants. All registered participants, regardless of where you are joining from, YouTube, Facebook, live stream on the website, you're in the Zoom room, we'll be sending live recordings. So we'll be sending the links to the recordings to your emails, so you will get it. So if for any reason, probably due to network or system glitches, you missed out on a particular session, be rest assured the IFUMSA got you covered. We'll send you the link so you can always go back to, make reference. We can always go back to make reference to it. Then in the follow-up news as well, if you, Mr. Parkwintirabo mentioned something about going to subscribe on the YouTube channel. Yeah, we will include the YouTube channel link and every other detail in the follow-up email. So do not worry, we'll get back to you on that. You get the mail as soon as possible. And with the permission of our speakers, if they permit us, the conference materials, the screen, the documents they shared, if they permit us, we might get them across to you. Similarly, if you have questions that were not answered, we will note them. However, we do not have your email addresses. So please, you can reach us via the email address by which you send your confirmation mail, oaufumsa@gmail.com, oaufumsa@gmail.com. Send us your question, give it a title that reflects the IFUMSA Entrepreneurship and Economic Summit. We will send you a response after getting across to our speaker. Thank you very much. We are very grateful. Thank you all for joining. Thank you for being a part of this success story. Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Even if the network almost cost one or two things, we are very, very grateful to you. We are grateful to our speakers. Thank you all. Do have a great evening.
Thank you very much. I just the key section. Answers just check your answers. Ms. Omar Clark has already given an answer to your question. So before you log, just give the answer. So thank you very much for joining us, and it's nice privilege like moderating this virtual entrepreneurship 2025 in the Obafemi Awolowo University Medical Center Station in Lagos. So thank you very much for having me. Thank you. Have a nice time.
This is the remix. I'm very sorry. I also appreciate the director of socials, Omotan Wagbadebo, and the director of sports of Babajide Ijiyode. I'm very sorry I omitted you. It was never my plan. It was never part of the plan. I'm very sorry. Thank you very much. I feel your inputs. You are wonderful. Thank you very, very much. And every other person I probably forgot to mention, thank you very much again. This event would not have been a success without your inputs. Thank you very, very much. And again, to my organizing committee chairman, Adeolu Oluwekiri, thank you very much. It's been great working with you. I'm grateful to you, sir. God bless you for this, sir. Thank you, everyone.